Good evening and welcome to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Tonight, we hope you've had a great time watching the Boise State versus BYU game. And as a way of unwinding after that exciting match, we are here to bring you an event that we have from time to time here at the arena, the Beatdown at Boise State fighting game tournaments. And tonight, we have a completely new game for you, so you are definitely going to want to watch this. I'm your host, Jacob Jem Palmer. I'm going to be joined by various people who are going to be in the tournament themselves. So we're going to see a rotating sort of slew of co-casters here. But let's introduce the first one right here, and I think it's probably best that you introduce yourself.
Hi, what's up? My name's Draco, Kerry Draco Richelieu. Yeah, it's a great day in Boise. Nice fall weather. Broncos beat the Cougars, and we have in-person fighting games back on the docket.
Yeah, it is very great. It's nice to have the arena full of activity again, and a completely new game at that, Guilty Gear Strive. Why don't you kind of set the stage for us on what this game has to offer?
Yeah, Guilty Gear Strive has totally taken the game by storm. It was the right place at the right time. Arxis, the developers of the game, it's like the first time that a major Japanese producer has taken a lot of effort and care into making an extremely online playable experience. And because of that, even with separation due to COVID, people have been able to play this game at a very high level and in the closest to offline experience as possible. And today we get to play fighting games as they should be played, which is offline next to the person.
Well, let's take a look at how this how this tournament is going to shape up. We have a whole slew of people ready to enter, and it's going to be best of 3 for normal matches. The finals will be best of 5. All characters are going to be legal, and the winner is character locked. And normally we take time to bring you our roundups, but tonight we just have the rules of the game. But those rules of the game brought to you by Count Identity Trust Global Network, delivers real-time fraud prevention, account protection, and enables personalized customer experiences for more than 9,000 leading brands and payment providers. So we're ready to hop into the first match right now. Now, normally at this time we would have Doc's keys to the game, but seeing as how this is a completely new addition to the Boise State Esports lineup, why don't we have Draco's keys to the game? What are the main things that our competitors are going to want to remember tonight as they face off?
This game is all about offense, knowing when it's your turn, and then making the opportunities when it's not your turn. Typically, in other fighting games, it's a little slower, a little more neutral-based. This game is very much in your face, rush down, knowing when to take advantage of the opportunities that are presented to you, and just knowing when to punish and making sure you're leaving nothing on your plate and you're punishing to your fullest potential.
Well, we're getting ready to hop into the first match right now. Both of the competitors are in the character select screen right now. Who are the main picks that we are going to want to be looking out for here?
There's a few good ones right now. Soul is still really good. May also very strong. The good news about this game right now as it exists is they have done, it was released a couple months ago, but they have done they already have their first patch out of the way, some balance changes. Almost everybody's playable, especially at our level. So it'll be interesting. In this matchup, we're going to have Ino versus May, or Ino. Ino's got a very unique jump mechanic in this game. Most characters have, ground dashes and air dashes. All of her dashes are air dashes. And May has some extremely oppressive offense if you're allowed to get it going. But we'll see right here. And Ino immediately taking corner control, but a good counter hit by May. And then, in case you're unfamiliar with this game, typically, if you've been watching the other fighting games, we have a couple meters on the board. I'm going to just go through real quick and explain those. Top by the characters is the life bar. As you see, May's was just depleted, so that's the end of round 1. Right underneath that is a mechanic called Burst. Even typically in fighting games, if you're getting hit by a combo, there's not much you can do, but in Guilty Gear, this is your one get-out-of-jail-free card, although it can be baited, and it does take quite a long time to come back. So you might get two out of a 3-round game, but both characters have them right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if May does it pretty soon. And just like that, we're down with game 1.
Well, I suppose you weren't kidding when you said this was a very offensively focused game. That's just one match out of the way, but I suppose we have a lot to get to later on in the night. So congrats to the first player who got that win. Moving on in the bracket.
Nope. So this is going to be best of 3. So each game is going to be best of 3 games, but then each round of the tournament is just going to be a best of 3. So they're going to have to win 4 rounds total. But then immediately like that, Ino is taking May to the corner, going through the wall break. That wall break mechanic leads me to our 3rd meter, which is at the bottom. It's the tension gauge, as it's known in this. It allows you to do super moves, which you saw Ino close out the last round with before this one. But it also has one of Guilty Gear's, allows you to do one of Guilty Gear's main mechanics, which is the Roman cancel, or the RC. You'll hear me and the other casters use that phrase quite frequently. You'll know when you see it. It slows down time, allows for combo extensions, and to read what the other player is doing. But right now, I'm not sure who the Ino player is currently, but they are taking it to him, and right there with the big stroke is the name of that move. Stroke the big tree, and he's going to take this one a quick 4-0 and move on in the bracket.
Well, that is the first round already done in this beatdown at Boise State. I can only imagine really how much, how quick these rounds are going to last based on that first round. So now we're going to wait for the next 2 competitors to get set up here. And just overall, tell us just about the general community at Boise State, the general fighting game community, and who you've gotten to know just being in these tournaments.
Yeah, I didn't start playing fighting games until 2nd season of Street Fighter V, so that's got to be close to 5 years ago now. And I tell you what, it's fighting games were born in the arcade. They were born playing against, the community was born out of you standing next to the person. You're both hitting buttons, putting quarters down on the table. It's a little competitive, and at times it can get a little salty, but but all great games, it's truly meant to be played in person next to each other, which in today's day and age is kind of rare. But I do enjoy it. My buddy Ian, who unfortunately couldn't make it today, me and him play all the time. We, back when there were live, bigger major tournaments like Evolution, for example, a bunch of us would go. We got guys splitting rooms in Vegas and stuff like that. It's a really good time.
So we see some people, we're going to see some of the players tonight just kind of using your standard game controller, but others are using just the arcade stick and button setup. What do you personally prefer?
I personally use a fight stick. I got big hands, man. I can't make the pad work, and I grew up on pad. I grew up playing Halo 2, and I just can't make it work. But in this match right here, we have Potemkin versus Angie. Potemkin is outside, and this looks like a button check, yeah. So, yeah, I believe it's a button check, or that was some real big brain maneuvers. But yeah, that was a button check. All right. But yeah, so if that's the matchup we're going to see, we're going to have Potemkin, who is outside of Zangief from the Street Fighter series, one of the most iconic grapplers in all of fighting games for that character archetype. Big body, big buttons, has the Potemkin Buster, which you will definitely know when you see one of those. I'll be sure to call it out. Command grab that does insane damage. 2 of those, and you're already looking, depending on the character, you might be out of the round. Angie Mito is a character that relies heavily on a parry tactic, and he kind of spins around when he does it. So you got to be a little extra careful on offense, but here we go at the start of one. That move right there, the Garuda Impact, this one right here, it's very big because if they don't block it, he gets a free command grab. That was a big play right there. Potemkin, being a zoner, he's got being a grappler, he does not have a forward dash, but he does have one of the best back dashes in the game, and he also has a lot of tools. And there was a purple RC right there. You could see the time slow down, and then into a red RC. He's already spending all of his meter. Oh, wake up super there. And then with the backwards Mega Fist, getting the first round there. But yeah, Potemkin has a bunch of these tools that allows him to, cover the ground since he doesn't have the dash, like the Mega Fist, this jumping move right there. He has an anti-projectile that allows him to actually throw the projectile back. And yeah, that's the big one too, the hammer fall. taking the block, you got to do it. But that risk gauge, if you see it under the burst meter, the purple one, the more you block, the more that builds, and eventually if it gets high enough, you do more damage or might even get a guaranteed counter hit, which is a big deal. So again, this game definitely prioritizes offense. Good regular throw here, but unable to really make the most out of that knockdown. And Potemkin's going to take the first two rounds, sorry.
Yeah, that's going to be the first of this best of three. Now, overall, most of the matches that we've seen have been pretty much stomps at this point. Are there any sort of matchups where, you know, just depending on the two characters that have been chosen, it's going to be really hard for the other? Is this one of them?
I'm not actually super familiar with the Angie Potemkin matchup. I would think that Angie's got the tools, but here's the pot buster I was talking about. That was a great stagger pressure. Caught him blocking. In case you don't know, in fighting games, you can block a button, but you can't block a throw. Throws beat blocks, and that's a big one. And this right here, Potemkin's using the Grew to Impact quite a lot to stagger this Angie. He should not be able to do that. I'd really like to see this Angie kind of get his air game going a little more with looking for some jump-ins. But this Potemkin seems to be controlling the space well, and a good overhead there. That's a big gamble from Angie, because if he blocks that, it's a big punish.
Explain to us just kind of, we see on the screen, you know, punish and counter being brought up. Explain to us how that works in this game.
Yeah, so it's just so there, in fighting games, there are startup, active, and recovery frames to any given move. It's like the wind up to the punch, the actual punch, and then the follow, and then the recovery. Just like you were a normal, you know, a boxer, MMA fighter. That was a disgusting purple RC into pot buster right there. Real hard to defend, and the Potemkin player takes it 2-0. But to give you an idea, a counter hit is when the move is either in startup or recovery, and your move is active. So it's a lot of times you see it on wake up. If you wake up and try to hit a button and they already have a button coming out, that's going to be a counter hit. A punish in this game, they'll tell you if you throw out a button, maybe just to control space, but on that recovery when it's coming back, if you hit them with a farther reaching button, that's what's known as a whiff punish. And this game does like a really good job of like announcing that information to the audience.
Well, we are going to get ready to head into the third match. Roughly, I would wager there's probably about 15 to 20 people right now in the arena. It has been a long time since we have had this many here, but as you can see, everyone is taking the necessary precautions, masking up and the like, but I am sure that it is great to have that sort of person v person play, and it's just nice to actually be able to actually say to your person, say to the person you're going up against GG rather than typing it out, because that has certainly been the case for the past couple of years.
Oh yeah, 100%. And you know, it might not be GG. It might be there might be a little salt, but you know, it's that's the other thing too. Is what's kind of unique about the fighting game community is you are right next to the person. Like if they do things that, and I feel like in gaming a lot, you hear a lot the get good, and it's never more so true in fighting games because you know, it's not like for example, League, right? There's hundreds of characters. You know, there's so many different combinations. Right now in Strive, there's like, 10, 12 characters. It's very easy to go into training mode. If you lose to someone online doing the same cheeky maneuver, there's no one to blame but yourself for not going into training mode and learning how to deal with that.
Well, right now it looks like we're having a button check right now for these next two competitors, so should be less than a minute that we jump into this next round. It always just amazes me, you know, how much it seems like the fighting game community in general and just fighting game tournaments are just really masterful for trying to replicate the prime conditions, if you will, for competing. You know, everyone has their own preferred, you know, controller that they bring, whether it be a fight stick or a gamepad, depending on the game, if you will. Some people still enjoy using CRT monitors. So it's amazing how it's kind of the set of games that strives to be the most authentic, if you will, in recreating that arcade experience.
100%. And in this game right here, we have Mu versus Raijinski. Mu is the Goriyuki player. That is the big vampire samurai you see on the screen. And this guy, big body, big buttons. His unique mechanic is right above the tension gauge, which is a little hidden due to the PIP. It's the blood meter because he is a vampire. There we go. You can see it. If that fills up all the way, something potentially very bad happens for Nagoriyuki. And there it is right there. His mask comes off. He starts losing a lot of his health instantly, but gets access to a lot farther range on his normals, which are already extremely far, and a super that will do 90% damage. But and so certain of his moves will cause that to go up. Certain will cause them to go down. The blood meter, so it's all about managing that. He's not doing a specifically good job right now, and Angie is definitely capitalizing. And now, oh yeah, that was actually well played because he was about to put the mask back on, and just like that, you know, quick 2 rounds to nothing for Mu. Rajinski is definitely one of the Tekken pros here, but it's that's what you know, that's what's good about fighting games too, is that like, not only can you play different characters in the same game, but there's a ton of people that, you know, play a bunch of different games, and it's nice that a lot of the mechanics are the same.
So it really seems like this kind of a character that you really, you know, want to be really thinking about resource management with that blood meter.
Oh, 100%. And the specific moves, there's a lot of moves that will, you know, a lot of his, like that one right there, the Beyblade, the spin, that cranks the meter pretty high, but it is also an extremely like useful tool for closing the distance because this is a slower moving character. And there's just a regular throw there. And trying to fish with the parry and getting thrown out of it there, and then moves. That's a great conversion, but drops it on the wall. We've seen it a little bit before, but the wall break, what happens is if you break the wall, you get a huge amount of meter gain, just passive meter gain, which is very important in this game. Wake up parry reversal twice in a row. The disrespect is not going to do it. Let's see if he can get anything off this. Both players about 1 hit away. And he's going to lose to a slash poke there from Nagoriyuki. But, you know, that's the kind of things you love to see. Like, you know, getting hit by it one time, you know, you're like, whatever, getting hit by it twice, it's sometimes, you know, you got to let him know that you're going to do it. You got to, even the unsafe things in games, you have to, everybody knows that they're unsafe, but if you never do them, then no one's going to respect them.
Well, we are going to be waiting for the next two to join in right now. Right now, though, we'd like to probably give a shout-out to one of our sponsors, some of the great sponsors that make all of this at Boise State possible. And, of course, Boise State Esports is a really good place to start. And Boise State Esports is always looking to recruit new talent. Good grades, along with great academic performance along with eligibility can help increase your chances at getting involved in all we do here at Boise State Esports. Normally, we will compete in Overwatch, League of Legends, Rocket League, and Valorant, but there are also positions open for production as well. So lots of great opportunities to get involved, and as you've seen right here tonight, there are lots of games that you might not expect that we would cover here, but through events like the Beatdown at Boise State, we get some great chance to showcase some talent that wouldn't normally be reflected in our varsity program. So, Draco, I hear it seemed like you were getting a quick update there. What's through the grapevine? Oh, no, that was just Presidente. He's the one that runs the program, or the tournaments here through Boise State, because we do also, for anyone interested out there, we do some, we are starting up like our own kind of locals that we were doing before this, but he was just letting me know that he might have to find a third person to commentate because there's a fair chance that me and him will be playing each other a little bit down the way. Yeah, okay. Assuming that we both win, which, you know, who's to say? Who is to say at this point? Is that a matchup that you would be looking forward to? I'm not sure who he plays right now. I'm a little bit out of practice. The International 10's happening right now. A lot of my spare time's been watching Dota. But it's, you know, I like to think that I have a pretty solid game plan of, you know, how to deal with most characters. So we'll see. Well, right now it looks like they are just loading into a button check right now. So very soon we will be getting into this next match. Or does it look to you like this actually is the match? Mitch looks like he's playing for real. Well, then let's jump right into it. So this is
let me make sure I get this right. This is Ram Lethal, or Ram Lethal, as she's so aptly known. The lady in the dress and the two giant swords that are floating in the air against Secretary of State General Gold Lewis Dickinson, who is one of the newer DLC characters. Ram Lethal has amazing corner carry in this game. She is the landlord. She will put you in the corner and make you pay rent, and just has extremely oppressive corner game. And but her thing though is she will use her swords to get that corner carry, and then use them there to keep him there. But it does, when she doesn't have her swords, her normal buttons are greatly reduced. Gold Lewis Dickinson, he's a big body, big boy. His main mechanic is this move called the Behemoth Typhoon. It's a series of special moves that he can do. They do a lot of chip damage, and pulling out the minigun there to try to give himself some breathing room. But Mitch is doing some work on Ram in a quick 2-0, and that's pretty consistent with the character. Like, if you let her get going, it's very hard. It's very hard to get out.
So I don't know if you really realize this right now, but I don't know if you fully realize the string of words that you have strung together in that sentence. The landlord lady with the two giant floating swords trying to make the Secretary of State pay his rent. Exactly.
Yeah. No. This is it's all canon. She's not actually a landlord, but it sure feels like it when you're stuck in the corner against her. But
it's just I hope you realize that some of these sentences that are being said is a string of English words that don't normally chain together.
That's Guilty Gear for you. The lore is extremely wild. The story modes in these games aren't actually story modes; they're just animes, and they are pretty insane. Ram Lethal, big counter hit there into the corner. This is probably going to be a stun. Yep. He's got that meter game. Got a lot of meter to work with. Still has his burst. And red RC here. Side switch. Didn't have enough meter to go into a super there, but gets the RC here. It's going to be a reverse super, but he's going to whiff. And, sometimes it's a last resort type thing. But just like that, Mitch taking that one. Going on to, believe it's winner's quarter? Winner's semi? Yeah, it'll be
we
winner's
certainly
semi.
are moving on at a very brisk pace, but just taking a little bit of a moment for a breather as the next two fighters get ready to set up. And a quick shout out to the Idaho Army National Guard, proud supporter of Boise State Esports, and they invite you to take your critical thinking skills into real time with more than 10 positions offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams to join out there. You can reach out to them on Twitch at iGuardGaming. So ultimately, getting ready for the next two competitors here. How close do you think we're getting to you jumping in here, Draco?
It looks like I got two more matches, and then it's me. Against Moo, which was the Nagori Yuki player. I got lucky. I signed up early, so I got first round bye. So sign up early, everybody, at your locals. Get that first round bye. So now we're gonna have, let's see, Champ versus Ranked Park. Ranked Park was, I believe, he's the Ino player up against Soul Bad Guy. Soul Bad Guy, the protagonist of the Guilty Gear series. And it's not that he is a bad guy. Fun fact, it's just a translation thing. He's just a bad Mamma Jamma. He carries, his weapon is a giant Zippo lighter.
I mean, he looks very anime protagonist.
They all do. Big Soul on game's release was by far the strongest character. There was a couple that could hold a candle to him. They've since recently brought him back, but right now we see some really good knockdown pressure from Ino, and good job on Soul there, realizing he can take his turn back on the slash version of Stroke the Big Tree, which is that move where she kind of slides on the ground. That one right there. Yeah, so it's his turn again. And catches him high. That's one of the big things about Ino is because all of her dashes are airborne, she can do some crazy things on your wake up, like going, high, high, low, high, low. It's, puts you in a six, in fighting games, we like to use the term the mix. It's a high-low mix. It's a left-right. But she's got a very extensive high-low. Soul finally able to get a counter hit and get out the corner, trying to get his offense going. There's the wild throw, which is his command grab. And good burst right there to I like that a lot, to really keep it in the corner. Purple RC to keep the pressure. Went for the grab, but really smartly interrupted by Ino. And then this is, I think, we're looking for a chip out here. He's got the meter to burn on a super, and unless I guess Soul can FD it too. Faultless defense. It's a mechanic in this game. Most of your meter is used for offense, but you can use it to take no chip from certain moves. You don't see it as often, but on supers, it's definitely the way to go. Great interruption there from Ino.
This is the first round that we've seen that has been one win apiece. So.
Yeah, no, this is definitely, these guys they're playing. Yeah, it's good. With the throw, no punish though, and there's Soul 5K. It's a really good button. Good reverse throw. Now it's your turn to be in the corner. I'm going to go high and cranking that wall, and we're going to get a break. So Ino's going to have some meter management to work at. Positive bonus. Good anti-air 5K there.
And I don't think that I think that's the one thing that we haven't necessarily covered in terms of the UI. Explain to us that positive bonus.
Yeah, so you generate, again, game very offense focused. Always has been, probably always will be. You get meter for landing hits, sometimes for taking them. You get meter just for moving forward. Obviously not as much, but as you can see, it starts to build on hit. Even if they block it, the game wants to reward you for being aggressive. And you spend, once you have up to 2 bars. So like right now, Soul has 1 bar. Just spend it there on an RC. Great air throw there, telling Ino to, this is a no-fly zone. Ooh, that was weird. Reversal super. I think we're all right. Good burst, good offensive burst there to stay in the corner. Good interruption there on the kick, and unable to make the most out of that interruption. But yeah, the positive bonus, it just greatly passively accelerates your meter gain. So a lot of the game is getting someone to the corner, landing that hit, and then breaking that wall, so you can keep up the pressure as soon as the screen changes. This Soul player has been like super on point with his anti-airs. You never want to let jump-in attacks are usually advantageous if the person can get you to block them, so it's really important in a lot of games to make sure that they don't do that for free. And we got the Bandit Revolver. We're all the way in the corner now. Counter hit 6S. Oh, and he's going to hit him. That's a command grab super, so he did block it, but she's just going to... This is actually a grab. And just like that, going to take the round. And we're at 1 apiece now. So it's 1-1. Next winner will move on in the winner side. And I think Ino has gotten that combination on round start almost every time. The Soul is probably looking for one of his stronger buttons, like his slasher, his heavy slash. Baits the burst there. That's what I was talking about. He was looking, to have Ino get off me. But if you have an idea, if you got a read that the person is gonna burst and you just block it, it's a big punish, and they don't have access to that huge defensive mechanic anymore.
Yeah, it does seem like he kind of bides his time early on in these matches.
Yeah. Ino doing a lot of wake up or reversal supers is one thing that I've noticed. So we'll see if people later on in the tournament are going to pick up on that. Because, again, if you walk up and block and they do that, you're in a position to get, pretty... You're going to be doing all right, because it's usually a huge punish. Oh, switches sides, unfortunate. Throw to keep him in the corner. Throws him right back. Good just block there, but he's going to get hit. Still alive somehow. He's going to get the grab, and let's see. Counter hit Fafnir, but unable to convert.
Is that like 2 pixels there on the health?
Hey, that's enough, man. It's the magic pixel. Every fighting game player knows it. If you're not dead, you're not dead. And up next, so that was, let's see. So that was Ranked Park beating Champ. Up next we have Presidente versus Huey, and I'm not sure who these guys specifically play, but we're about to find out. Let's Let's see. I think Huey was maybe the Potemkin player.
Now, you were saying, with possibility of you going up against Presidente, that's if he wins this round, correct?
Correct. Because I'm in the next one, so winner of this plays the winner of me and Moo. And then we still have a losers bracket, which we're going to go through, but we're just running through all of winners' quarters right now.
Right. Well, then it seems like this is a scouting opportunity, if you will. Who would you be most concerned to see, though?
Whoever the Potemkin player was, he looked really strong. Mitch, the Ramlethal player, I just don't like playing against that character. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, we have some Axels who I think Presidente plays Axel, actually, so we'll probably get to see him here. This game does a really good job of really solidifying all the different archetypes of fighting games. So you have like your Shotos, all-arounders, like Ryu and Ken from Street Fighter. That's like Soul Bad Guy and Kai Kisuke in this game. We haven't seen a Kai yet, but you'll see one next round for sure. You have your grapplers like Potemkin, and then you have like your rushdown characters like Ramlethal. And this is a rough match for Pot. So Axel is a zoner. He has very long buttons, and you can see him getting used to doing them now. But Potemkin letting it rip there with the armor hit. If Potemkin gets in here, yeah, this is bad news already. It was a great job getting the pot buster. Yeah, we'll see. And just like that, it's around. Axel games look one of two ways. It either looks something exactly like that, where he lets the other player get in, or the other player just never does. They just never do get in. I don't know if that was... I'm not sure if that was button check. I don't think it was. I think he is realizing now that something is not correct.
Okay. So just making a few adjustments there then, but I wouldn't expect it to take too long exactly.
No. It looks like we're back on it. And it looks like, no, they are just going to play it through, so he's just going to be down around, which, it's on your onus to, it's your job to make sure your buttons are right. And
I mean, we can all kind of relate to that, when you have your friends over and you're very nice. You're very glad that you got the win in the first round, and your friend says, "Oh no, wait, the settings weren't right."
Yeah,
and they try to use that as a way to reset. No, start over.
Yeah, no. Well, it looks like it now, and I love this move, Heat Knuckle. It's one of my favorite moves in the game. I think it's the coolest looking one for sure. It's an anti-air command grab. But yeah, you can already see right here that. The Axel player, that's an unblockable move right there. It comes from behind. You have to jump it. But yeah, so we're looking at right now. This is what I was talking about earlier. It's very. Oh man, if I was gonna say that conversion would have been so sick. But yeah, it looks like Presidente, the Axel player, is getting on his jam, and grapplers struggle to get in, and zoners are good at preventing people from getting in, and. So we're going to see, this is what the Axel player wants. This is what Presidente wants. He's going to hit him with the unblockable again. It's just hard because you don't always want to jump it, because Axel does have very good anti-air buttons. Great Kara pot buster there. Burst to get off. Unblockable again. And don't get me wrong, when I say unblockable, the move's not like broken by any means. It's if you can see it coming, it's not specifically hard to react to, but it's just something that you do have to be aware of. But yeah, Axel doing a really good job of starting to go in, and Pot's got to be real careful here. He's gonna have you can see the kind of orb going on when he's blocking. That's the FD, or faultless defense, that I was talking about. And first round is going way of Axel, which. Yeah, I'm not. This is. You asked before if there were any matchups that were tough. This one is tough for Potemkin for sure. But Axel makes it tough for a lot of people because he's really good at not letting you get in.
Well, the thing about these types of games that really, to sort of the layperson, doesn't really kind of come through is just how much it can kind of warp time. You would say to the layperson, this.
That was sick. That was awesome. I love that move. Pot buster was so cool, and you never think that someone's going to do it twice, because that move does a lot of damage. But if you jump it or get him to whiff the command throw, big punish is incoming. But you never. So it's a risk for sure on offense. But you love to see people do two in a row. I love it.
I was just going to say that, the layperson, you say something, oh, this move takes 1 second to execute, they would say, oh, 1 second, that's not a lot. But these types of games have a way of making just 1 second feel like an eternity.
Oh, I mean, we talk in a matter of frames. These games operate on 60 frames a second, and we're talking moves that are 5 frames long, being like important, and that's like important information to know. Because, like I said earlier, with the startup, active and recovery frames, like you can do the math to find out which moves will combo, which ones won't, where there is a gap in pressure. That was a very sick conversion from the Potbuster Red RC.
So now we have 1 win apiece.
That we do. Yeah. And looks like we're going to get a character switch here, and we're going to the Pot Mirror. So, yeah, winner's character locked. So, if you lose, you're allowed to switch. If you win, you have to stay. So the Axel player losing there. This is going to be...
Which is kind of interesting when you were explaining the matchup and how you were initially favoring Axel.
Yeah, but maybe after the first round, maybe Presidente, the Axel player, maybe, or excuse me, Huey, the original Potemkin player, the man in the green, maybe he made an adjustment that Presidente didn't think that he could do, or that he could adjust back to. Maybe the adjustment was too severe, and sometimes it definitely helps. It helps having more than one character on the roster that you can use. Oh, that was so cool. Using the armor and then the RC to break through the other Potemkin's armor. And we are on game point right here. Going back and forth.
So Presidente has to win these two. He has to pull off kind of the reverse sweep, if you will.
Yeah, just for this one. Nothing too crazy. Totally doable. Regular throw there. But and that'll be the round. It was a good one. Hope I don't see either of them, because Potemkin's real good, and
you're gonna have to see one of them very soon here, because your round is up, and I think that is as good an opportunity as any to take a quick break, allow you to get ready, and we will be back with more of the Beatdown at Boise State right after these messages. So please stay tuned.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your Guard adventure.
Welcome back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. We're currently having a tournament, the Beatdown at Boise State. For tonight, it is Guilty Gear Strive, the first time we have seen this particular fighting game in the Bronco Esports Arena. I'm still your host, Jacob Jem Palmer, and as I said at the beginning of this broadcast, we have a lot of commentators who are actually in the tournament themselves, so there is a lot of rotating out. We just said goodbye to Draco, and joining us is the man behind all this madness, Presidente, who has worked to help bring the Beatdown at Boise State, and we have seen some great competition so far. I have to say, the art style for this game is just insane. Half of the time I'm watching this, I'm marveling at it, and half the other time I'm thinking that someone wasn't right in the head when they were designing some of these characters.
Well, the company behind this game, Arc System Works, is very well known for that kind of art style. The almost anime, but it's still 3D, you can tell, but it looks really, really good still. They're also behind Dragon Ball FighterZ, which we ran for the first Beatdown, and you all saw that was a beautiful looking game, and this one is too. This is their latest release in Guilty Gear Strive. It's been out for 6-ish months now, so everyone is just starting to really find their footing. Top players are doing top player things, and all the rest of us are down here trying to catch up. So
I mean, there is something to say about that initial atmosphere when a game first releases. When a lot of people say, I miss the days when everyone was bad at this game. But overall, let's take a recap of how tonight is going to work out with the rules of the tournament. As we said, there are 2 brackets, an upper and a lower bracket. It is best of 3 rounds. Final is best of 5. All characters are legal, but the winner is character locked. So that is just a quick overview on how things are going to happen here. We're ready to jump into this match as both players choose their respective choices here. And overall, it seemed like why don't you excuse me, sorry, I lost my train of thought mid there, but why don't you pick it up for us, Presidente, and describing these 2 choices here?
Sure thing. So Nagoriyuki we've already seen once in this tournament. He has a really big sword and really, really good special moves, but is limited by his blood gauge, which you can almost see down in the bottom left there. It's that little red gauge above the tension meter. And then Kai is the general all-rounder of the game, which you might expect out of the protagonist, but Guilty Gear isn't like that. So Kai revolves a lot around his electric moves to apply what's called the stun state, which is a thing unique to him that gives some of his moves extra properties when they hit an opponent who has the stun state. And we see Nago running away with the first round here. He's kind of grown a reputation for having a lot of damage available to him at a lot of ranges. So he's always a joy to watch, but you see those little electric effects around him right now. That is what the stun state looks like. That fireball applies it, and as Kai brings out some of his special moves, we'll start to see the special effects of those. Big, risky charge fireball in someone's face is a surprisingly valid tactic for literally just standing there in somebody's face. It works out pretty well. We see a big fireball coming out. Kai, at the moment, really needs to pressure Nago and cut him off from using his special moves in a meaningful way. You've seen already... Ooh, this could be the round. There we go. We've seen already Nago has a spin move that looks like it would be unsafe to use, would leave you vulnerable to counterattack, but is actually completely safe to use, and depending on the situation, can actually have you acting before your opponent. So it's a surprising mobility and pressure tool. And as you can see, the blood gauge is about to fill up all the way. That's why Nago is allowed to have such good special moves, is that they fill up that gauge. And when the gauge becomes full, he'll enter Blood Rage. He is a vampire, so he has to have something to do with
a vampire
blood.
samurai.
A vampire samurai, which might be the coolest sentence I can say. A vampire samurai, and we saw earlier, actually, the big blood gauge super, which is the big payoff for managing your blood gauge well, is that you get to go into the special state and use a full screen or 3/4 screen move that will do over half of your opponent's life if it hits. But you do have to work up to that point. It requires half of that green bar and to be in this state. And the downside of the Blood Rage state is that your special moves are all cut off. You can only use your singular special move. In addition, your health drains rapidly.
Okay, that was the most telegenic losing pose I have ever seen.
What, just lying on the floor chilling?
Well, yeah.
Nago does not care for your lowly battles. He is simply here to improve. You pose no real threat to him. Okay, so you've probably seen and asked yourself a lot of questions about those circles that keep coming out of the characters. That is what we call a roaming cancel. It's something unique to Guilty Gear as a series. The color of it changes what properties, and you change the color of it by using a roaming cancel in different contexts. The most common one you see is the red roaming cancel that cancels after a move has hit. It allows you to extend combos. Then we just saw it right there. It also allows you to drift forward a little bit, almost getting a free dash in, which is really valuable to a character like Nagoriyuki because he doesn't have a dash of his own. His only dash is actually a special move, which really quickly fills up his blood gauge if you want to use it. And that is the game to Nago's side that makes us 1-1, 1-1, I believe, or maybe 1-0. I get very involved in these matches and sometimes forget to count things.
Well, that is fine. And this is the final one, if I'm not mistaken, that is the best of 3. If we're going on to winners finals, that makes it a best of 5 for the next match, correct?
That is correct. We're going to go to winners semifinals after this match, and then winners final. And then after we get all those matches out, we will jump into our losers bracket to figure out who makes it all the way to grand finals. So if your favorite character already got knocked out of the tournament, don't fret, you'll get to see him again. Another aspect of this game, which has nothing to do with its mechanics or anything, it has what might be the most banging soundtrack of a fighting game recently. Uncommon among fighting games and video game music in general. All the character themes and all that have lyrics, and I'm not going to lie, I go on Spotify and I listen to them just for fun.
I mean, that's definitely something that's underrated, you know, especially in the games that we cover here normally. You know, Rocket League, Valorant, Overwatch. When you come from a background of just having great video game soundtracks, it's almost a little jarring. You're like, where's the music in the background? Is that even possible? And
so often on multiplayer games, it's all about the competition, which we are all about here. That's what the whole tournament's for. But sometimes it's nice to slow down and appreciate the finer things of your game, like the banging heavy metal soundtrack in this Guilty Gear game. So here we see Nago's in a risky state. You can see he's at low health. He has burst, so if he gets clipped by a loose hit or maybe a big read, big super coming out to get across the screen at a bit more distance. It's a little bit early to try to time anyone out. We still have 50, now 45-ish seconds left on the clock. There we go. And that looks like the fist bump. Congratulations.
So that's going to do it for this round, but let's just take a quick moment to appreciate another one of Boise State sponsors. Drop-In Gaming is another great sponsor that we have, organizing a lot of local tournaments for the area and an Idaho business at that. So it's always nice to appreciate those. And they're the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. You can play favorite games to win cash and prizes throughout free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you are new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you to begin your competitive gaming journey. Sign up at dropingaming.com.
Well, maybe we're about to change what system I use to organize these tournaments. Hold on, I'm going to need to yell a match real quick.
All right, that's perfectly fine. So overall, while we're getting ready for this next match, this is just kind of the what goes on behind the scenes often at these broadcasts. And quick shout out to production, because a lot of these changes sort of happen on the fly. And while we're doing those changes right now, I just want to Yeah, he's just letting the players know about who is on next. And like I was saying, a big shout out to production, because they are the ones that kind of smooth over all of these last-minute changes to make us here on the stage look good. But I think this would be a great time, Presidente, to kind of talk about just kind of bringing tournaments together, because there are lots of people, you know, who might run in and say, you know, I want Boise State Esports to cover this game. Can you please broadcast this game? But it takes a lot behind the scenes. So just kind of give us a view into that, of just kind of organizing these tournaments, setting up the community here at Boise State that's needed so that we can showcase this kind of talent.
So I'll tell the story of the first one of these I ever ran. It was earlier this year, I think, very, very early 2021. I emailed Doc. I know a few players on the Rocket League and League teams. So I emailed Doc, said, hey, I want to bring this tournament to Boise State. It's going to be this games, probably around this many people, given signups. Can we make this work? And we went back and forth about it for a while. And, you know, organizing any event is a perpetual state of chaos. So we've had our setbacks and ups and downs and all of that. But looking at the turnout for our third iteration of the Beatdown, I have to say I'm more than happy with how many people we have here to play some good Guilty Gear.
Well, let's jump into the next match. It looks like the selections have been made.
Duel 1.
And overall, we've been kind of talking about, you've been kind of talking about your favorite soundtracks, but do you just have a personal, taste for like the backgrounds themselves? Because there's a lot of really stunning art showcased in this game.
That's actually a fantastic question. So if you've been paying attention to the backgrounds, you'll notice some of them get pretty weird. There's one with like giant flying statues and stuff like that. So I don't know if I'd say, if I had to pick a favorite, it probably would be the one with the giant flying statues. But I also just really like the character whose stage that is. The backgrounds you get are dependent upon which characters are chosen, and so are the battle themes. So there's a character I really like his stage. I really like his music. I tried to play him. It didn't go well. So now I play Axel and Potemkin, and I don't play Anji.
That's always kind of the one of the most frustrating features is when you see a character whose aesthetics you really like, and you're like, oh no, I'm gonna main this character, and then all of a sudden you start playing the character and you're like, this isn't working at all.
This isn't what I want. I don't want to spin. I just want big damage, and I don't want to be held accountable for being at full screen. So I kid around, but it is the characters. It's a strange. You'll find this in any game, actually. It's a strange balance between finding a character that fits your play style, and then a character that you like. Because no one wants to play a character that they're like, you know, he smells bad, he's ugly, I don't like this guy, but he's the only person I can play. You know, that's not a good situation for anybody. So there's a very important balance between finding a character you think is cool, that you think is good, and that you enjoy playing.
Is there a little bit of a repressed memory of having to be a Wario main in Smash or something like that? Because that's the only one. Just your description there. He smells bad. He's ugly. No one likes him, but he's the only one I can play.
I never played too much Wario. I did have a friend who played Wario who would always beat me real bad. So that might be where it comes from.
That's probably one of the greatest character descriptions I've ever heard. He smells bad, he's ugly, no one likes him, but he's the only one I can play, so there you go.
But getting back to the game we're playing here, so I'm going to be real. I do not like either of these characters. I don't like fighting them. I don't. I feel like no matter what, especially against Ramlethal, who is we saw take out the Secretary of State earlier. Especially against Ramlethal, I just don't know what to do. I can't figure it out.
I am too much of a news and political junkie for that sentence to ever make sense to me. So,
well,
I mean, every time you say it, I'm half expecting my phone notifications to go off the hook.
What, you don't like
news.
the fact that the Secretary, actually, I think he's the Secretary of Defense, actually, is a large Texan man who swings a big coffin that has an alien inside of it? What, does that not make sense to you?
Like I said at the beginning, I'm spending half my time marveling at the art and half my time thinking someone wasn't right in the head.
Well, you can thank a man named Daisuke over in Japan for that.
I mean, I do love that about fighting games in particular. I mean, it does seem like it is a genre that has a lot of studios and games themselves that, like, they want to foster a competitive scene, but at the same time, there is a lot of tongue-in-cheek.
There's a lot of weirdness when it comes to fighting games. Guilty Gear does not take itself very seriously. It lets itself be completely ridiculous all the time. But, think of, say, even what would appear to be a super serious series like, say, Mortal Kombat has a famously goofy streak. Because, of course, it's ridiculous. You can have the same person fight themselves. And, you can't... It's difficult to tell, like, a serious story in a fighting game because ultimately your goal is just to have everyone beat each other up. So you either need everyone to hate each other, which isn't an interesting story, or you need to just ignore it completely.
That's not going to be too big of an ask in a fighting game tournament.
So one thing I really, really like from our Eno player here, the Wake Up Super over and over is constantly making Ramlethal just not approach. Supers in this game, most supers in this game tend to be invincible during the startup of the move. So they're commonly used to get out of pressure, get the opponent off you when you're trying to get off the ground, stuff like that. Because especially against Ramlethal, the last thing, and both these characters actually, the last thing you want to do is let them get something set up, get an advantage over you. We see that projectile coming out from Eno. It's called Note. We just call it Note because I don't know the real name of the move, and it's probably something ridiculous anyways. Note is a slow startup projectile, but it hits a lot, and it's pretty slow moving. So it's used after knockdowns, like we see here, to just make your opponent block things. That lets you get up in their face, do whatever you want to them. And now we're in the corner. This is absolutely not where you want to be. Eno's, the little float that you keep seeing Eno do, that's actually her run. Every other character just runs on the ground. She gets up and floats. So she's constantly applying this. She's going to hit me high, she's going to hit me low. I need to be paying attention, and even sometimes if you're paying attention, it's just too fast. There are some things in fighting games that you purely need to read and guess on, which is all part of the fun. So get good at guessing and stay free.
Well, there we go. That is going to do it for the winners semifinals, if I'm not mistaken.
That was our first winners semifinals match, yeah.
All right, so we're heading into the other one right now.
Yes, that is going to be Huey and Moo up on the match. Huey and Moo.
And we're just quickly getting those players ready to head into the match. Of course, also, we have so many machines here that hopefully no one has gotten too enticed and is just playing some of the games on the computers. But we will get all of that sorted out. But speaking of playing games on computers, a great supporter of that is Idaho Army National Guard. If you have great skills in game, then the Idaho Army National Guard wants you to take those skills into real time. They have more than 10 jobs offering $20,000 bonuses and your degree of choice paid for. Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams to join out there. You can reach out to them at Twitch at iGuardGaming.com.
All right, we are getting our next match underway.
And as we were just kind of wrangling up the players for this specific match, tell us just a little bit about kind of the community that you formed here, some of the friends you've made, just overall, just some of the people that we're seeing play here tonight. So
we have a pretty tight-knit community, especially in specifically the Boise fighting game community. We usually, every weekend, someone will say, hey, I'm hosting, bring your setups, bring your controllers, bring a few chairs, bring some snacks. We just hang out at someone's house, play some games, chat it up. We have a few major players missing that just couldn't be here tonight, sadly, different obligations.
Right.
But I'm excited. Usually Jinsky hosts, there are like 3 or 4 of us that live at that house, us as in fighting game community members, that live at that house. So almost every weekend there's a session over there. I try to make the ones I can, but been working a lot lately, so
how many televisions do you have?
Me personally? No.
Just at that house.
At that house?
Yeah.
Oh, well, let's see. There's one upstairs and one in the basement for certain. Lots of people bring laptops or desktops and monitors to play on as well. All right. Oh, Potemkin. I love Potemkin. So Potemkin, Draco was talking to you about him a little bit earlier. He is the
I'm surprised you have this good a feeling for him after your round against him.
So, well, I was a Potemkin player for a long time. I swapped over to Axel recently, but I love myself some good Potemkin play. If you've never played a fighting game and you've never hit a big command grab, then you need to buy a copy of Guilty Gear Strive and play Potemkin right now, because it is some of the most fun you can have in a video game. It's on my mind because I was playing a little bit actually against Critch earlier. The Potemkin has 2 supers, like most characters in this game. One of them is called Heavenly Potemkin Buster. Now, normally Potemkin Buster is his command grab. He grabs you, he jumps, does some wrestling move. You hurt a lot after that. But Heavenly Potemkin Buster, he actually jumps in the air and tries to grab you at kind of a diagonal angle, which you might think you want to use when your opponent's jumping at you. But actually, the best use for it is after you've healthily conditioned your opponent to jump backwards by command grabbing them, and as well as doing that air snatch move called Garuda Impact. No, that's not Garuda Impact. What's that? Heat Knuckle. That's what that move's called. These are tools that Potemkin can use to essentially force an opponent to only want to jump backwards, because it's the safest option. But then someone's not paying attention, Potemkin has a bar of meter, you're going to eat, it's like 60% damage or something. Just a purely ridiculous amount of damage for even thinking about jumping backwards. So the essence of a grappler character is to make you guess over and over what's going to happen and do lots of damage in the process.
So I heard you say something a little bit kind of interesting earlier. You know, you were urging players to, you know, pick up a copy if they haven't played before, but to that sort of new player who might be looking at all of this and might just be overwhelmed, you know, we're talking about moves that last a certain amount of frames, having to do all this math, having to keep all of this stuff in your mind, beyond just saying get good. What seriously are the best things that someone who's new to games like this can do to kind of improve their skill most when they don't know where to start? Don't know where to start.
I was in your shoes about 3 years ago, so I actually can have somewhat recent memory. The best thing you can do for playing fighting games is either listen to your one friend who keeps telling you to play this weird fighting game, or go find your community. Obviously the Boise community is here on stream right now, but no matter where you live, there is almost guaranteed to be a fighting game community there. So you can go on, find their Discord, pop in, say, hey, I'm new, I'm trying to get into this stuff. What should I do? And if you're comfortable, of course, going and meeting people and playing video games, then honestly the best thing you can do is just go find your community, make friends in the community, play fighting games with your friends, get better at fighting games by playing with your friends. But if you don't have that option available to you, or you're just not comfortable doing it, then there's plenty of other options. There's millions of how to start videos on YouTube, or to quote one of my favorite streamers on the subject, just find something that looks cool and learn how to do it. And then if your game has an online mode, go online, try to do it to people. And then that's kind of the first thing you acquire in your fighting game skills repertoire. And then you go from there. You encounter a problem. I can't play against this character. Cool. Well, let me go on a Discord, go on somewhere, or just find someone online who plays this character and, find what exactly gives you trouble. Go into training mode, find out a solution to that. And it's almost like a fractal of your skills. Each new thing you learn makes you better at the game, which makes you better at learning the game.
So now we find ourselves in a position where both these players have 1 win apiece in this best of 3.
Yeah, I kind of got distracted there. So
that was a good conversation.
Potemkin's down around here, as we can see. A few specific tools to look out for in this matchup. The move where Potemkin slams his head into the ground has 1 hit of armor, so it can absorb 1 move, 1 hit of something and still go through. It also causes a knockdown, even at full screen. It doesn't do any damage, though. So you'll see Nagoriyuki will be trying... Oh, ouch. Oh, that's going to kill for sure. You'll see Nagoriyuki trying to swing his sword, use his big normals to kind of range out Potemkin, and then he'll absorb something with that slide head and knock him down. And then there's the big dash move that also... That one right there. I knew it was coming. That also has 1 hit of armor on it, allows you to close in. So they're commonly used in tandem. Knock them down. You're not knocked down, obviously, but they are close in, exploit your better tools at close range. So the name of the game in this matchup is purely and totally spacing. Nagoriyuki can do plenty up close. He's not quite as good as Potemkin, but in that mid-range, kind of in the quarter to half screen range, it is all Nago right there. That's all he wants to be doing in this matchup. Ooh, Nago just tried to use his... Oh, okay, it doesn't matter, I guess. But that looks like it's going to be... Is that 2 or 3?
Yeah, they're just currently asking it was best of 2 or 3.
2-1? Cool, thank you.
Just confirming the results here, getting ready to head into the winners finals, which will be coming up very quickly here. Again, though, this is all taking place at the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. One of the great perks here, if you don't know, is that all of these machines that you see around you are available to play. So Doc was just with this community here, just getting everyone some accounts, getting them ready. I think you can actually see the top of 1 player actually playing a game. But we have all sorts of games that you can play here, and if you're a Boise State student, you're definitely going to want to check us out down here. You can also see one of the practice rooms that the team uses right now, as of course the stage with the blue turf, actually the original blue turf if you didn't know that, from the original blue field, so that's always great to have here. But we have a lot of players down here getting ready to play, and of course and a lot of great games to play, but the main game that we are concerned with right now, Guilty Gear Strive, as it has been all tonight. It's been best of 3, but as we're heading into the winners finals, we're heading to best of 5. All characters are illegal, but the winner is character locked, so that gives the loser kind of a chance to change their strategy, if you will. We saw a little bit of that in your match, Presidente.
Yeah, I totally did that. So, in theory, Axel is supposed to have a very, very good matchup against Potemkin, because all Axel wants to do is throw his chains, throw his stuff out, keep people very far away from him. And Potemkin wants to be very, very close. So Axel has a lot of good tools to exploit Potemkin's weaknesses. But I thought, why not? Let's swap it up. I had just lost the match before, obviously, so I could swap characters. I figured, why not? Mess around a little bit with the Potemkin mirror match, because it's a lot of fun.
Well, it was certainly great to see, and I give you credit for changing it up a little. The only one so far that has made a character swap mid-match.
I am here to make things interesting. I gotta make my own tournament fun to watch, you know. All right, Nago versus Eno. So
I would probably say to just a quick note to production, it's probably best if we go full screen here instead of seeing the 2 players. That way we can get a look at Nagoriyuki's blood meter.
Thank you so much. So, Nago actually has a hard time with this matchup. Eno is a very, very fast character that can bob and weave herself around Nago with his bigger, slower buttons. So as you can see, there's constantly the dash up, get high, maybe hit an air button. Oh, you have to block that high, drop back down, poke your toes a little bit. This is almost as pure of a high-low mix-up as you can get, because especially when that note's on screen, you got a lot to focus on. We call this the mental stack. You are not always looking at what Eno's doing. You're not always looking at if she's putting out a button in the air, if she's dropping down to hit you low. But, of course, the counterpoint to that is Eno is a very low-health character, so if Nagoriyuki gets even 1 or 2 loose hits, that could very easily put Eno at a massive disadvantage in terms of health.
Yeah, and that is one thing that we've kind of seen a little bit different in this match so far, is that blood meter really isn't kind of filling up at all at this point, whereas in the past couple of matches that we've seen Nago, his blood meter has gotten pretty close to full both times.
Yeah, Nago has a harder time against faster characters because he can't bully as much with his long-range normals and special moves to really keep people oppressed, which is what... Ooh, I think we're seeing a character swap. Or, oh no, looks like we're going for buttons. Okay. But yeah, Nago can't bully Ino nearly as well with his slower, larger buttons, which gives Ino quite the edge in the neutral game in this matchup.
We'll see if besides just a couple of quick button changes, if it is going to still be the same characters that both players are going to be going with. Remember, this final is best of 5 instead of best of 3. And after this, we will head to the lower bracket to see who joins the winner here in the grand final.
Yeah, so whoever wins this match does go into grand finals. And then we jump into the losers bracket to see who can claw their way back out and face the competition. So, an interesting thing we saw a lot in the first match in particular with Ino, that move where she kind of dashes low and then comes up. It's called Tree, short for Stroke the Big Tree. But I'm not going to say that on a Twitch Esports broadcast. It goes under a lot of moves. Specifically low, you have to use a low hitting move to hit her out of that. It'll go under anything that hits mid or high. And it also hits low, kind of deceptively almost, so you need to block it crouching, which has tripped me up plenty in the past.
That is not a boat that confirms to the principles of that confirms to the principles of seaworthiness. I'm just gonna say right there, there is that is displacing. There you can.
You've heard of a houseboat.
Stone does not work, okay? Stone does not work. Neither does ornate roof tiles and stained glass windows for a boat.
You're thinking about this too hard. Boat float, all right? So you put a cathedral on the boat. Floating cathedral. Easy. Easy clap. There we go. So the trick with Ino is you do have to swat her out of the air, kind of like an annoying fly. You have to hit her out. That's her most vulnerable state usually. So good Inos know how to cover themselves with her different moves to make it so that they don't get hit. And I mean, yeah, that's how you win. Don't get hit. Who'da thunk?
I just love how that cathedral boat has lifeboats on it. Like, as unrealistic as that is, they actually have realistic lifeboats on it.
Safety first.
I appreciate that attention to detail.
So, I just had something to say and I straight up forgot it once we got talking about the houseboat again. Oh, okay. Big reversal super coming out. It does hit. Is this going to kill? I don't think it's going to kill. Not quite, although this is a guess for game situation. There we go. There we go. I think...
so overall, in terms of rounds, both players are at 1 apiece.
Yes.
But this is for Nago's second win.
This, yeah, so Nago wins this round. He will be on his second win, which means he will only be 1 win away from the grand finals. So as you can see, Nago is adjusting to the matchup as best as he can. He's a very pivotal skill in fighting games that one can pick up as they get better and better is figuring out which characters do what and what you need to watch out for. Ino goes into the air a lot. She is airborne 50% of the match, I'd say. She's either airborne or doing tree. So you really need to be ready to do whatever your anti-air is, your big moves. There's actually a universal anti-air button in this game. It's forward plus punch, and it is invincible on the upper half of the character's body. So you use it to counter people jumping at you. We saw it close out a round not too long ago, actually. And here's where Ino loves to be. Okay, commentator's curse, I know. But every time I go to say something, it immediately changes. I was commentating a Street Fighter.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, I was commentating a Street Fighter tournament like last weekend, I think. and it was the same thing. Every time I'd go to talk, it would change. So Ino's super here, this command grab super, is, at least in my opinion, kind of the last piece of the arch that kind of has everything hold. So Ino can make you guess between blocking high and blocking low, but you always have to be blocking something. So this command grab super of hers adds that final extra piece of the puzzle where you could need to grab, or you could need to block, but if you block that command grab, you see how much damage it did. Nago's almost dead from that. Oh, this is risky. There it is. Even the activation of the Blood Rage state has a lot of delay on it. It leaves Nagoriyuki vulnerable for a long while. So fast characters like Ino can close in and punish him for effectively not managing his meter well, because Nago can drain his blood gauge back down by hitting moves with his sword, and he also has a command grab of his own that takes a lot out of the blood gauge. It almost takes a full third, I think, which I think is all Moo's looking for right now. Is one of those command grabs or a sword special. Oh, so close. So close.
Well,
all
that
right.
means we're heading to Game 5.
This is going to be Game 4. But Ino is up 2-1. So this is set point for Rank Park. A common misconception I kind of want to talk about in fighting games. Fighting games are a very complicated genre by their nature. Not insurmountably so. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of stupid, and I learned how to play these games, so I think you can too. But
oh well, thank you for that side-handed, that
I don't mean it like
compliment.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
I didn't mean it like that
if
at all.
anything, I
promise.
appreciate it. I appreciate stuff worded like that.
If someone like me can learn how to play fighting games, then anyone can learn how to play fighting games.
There you go.
That's the nice way of putting it. Sometimes I forget that this is a culture full of nerds and all of us make social mistakes all the time.
I hope you enjoy your last beatdown here in the arena.
Oh, well, am I getting canceled? Cool.
I
all
regret
right.
to inform you that
Thanks for hosting.
Yeah.
That Wake Up Super has been such a defining aspect of these sets so far. Okay. So this is the set point round, actually, for Ino. But what a start it is for wanting to win, getting half of your life gone in a single combo. But where I was going, fighting games may seem complicated, they may seem very scary, but it, like learning any competitive game, the best thing to do is just start with one little basic thing. You know, if you're playing League, everyone's started playing League, missing all their minions, missing all the last hits, not knowing how to play macro. You know, I still do all that, actually. I'm going to be honest. I haven't gotten much better at League. But, you know, you still...
I mean, you wouldn't necessarily know that playing solo queue, because everyone expects you to get an ace on your first play, and if you don't, you're trash and uninstall.
True. Let me
but
just...
thank you for saying the truth, that everyone did start out missing all their minions. So it's always good to remind everybody of that. Be nice, people.
Oh, that is the set. Oh, my. I lost count of something. Cool.
Well,
all right.
That is going to do it for the winners finals, but as you said, we still have an entire lower bracket to get to.
And hey, it's me. I'm in the next match.
Well,
so
then I think that would be a great time to take a short break. We'll see how Presidente does, and be right back after these messages.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives.
And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Welcome back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. We are currently in the middle right now of the Beatdown at Boise State, probably the third tournament that we've had here, showcasing a number of fighting games. Tonight it is Guilty Gear Strive. We've just finished up the winner's side of the bracket, so now we're heading down into the lower bracket. I'm story host Jacob Jem Palmer. Presidente has left us on the stage to head down to the arena to fight in his first match. So that means we have Draco back with us. It's glad to have you back here.
Yeah, man.
And overall, I think we're seeing Presidente going back to the pick that we have known him for, Axel. Of course, that could be a button check, so I'm not entirely sure if that is the start of the round or not.
I am. Oh, they're playing. No, this is.
All right,
we're going. We're going. Yeah. Yeah. He seems to have a lot of faith. He's a very strong character. Like, if you don't know what you're doing, like if you don't know how to deal with Axel's tools, it's very oppressive. Just the range is insane. But like May is one of those characters too that if she ever gets in, like, man, a tiny girl, giant anchor, she's a pirate. She does huge damage. And we'll get to see. But yeah, right now just like a really slow, kind of methodical zoning effort here from Presidente. And it's whiffed the anti-air there, but jumps in, gets the throw. Big counter hit, and Axel's he's got the super long range on that normal. Oh, best round transition ever. And lore wise, Axel's a space-time traveling pirate. Just in case you guys were wondering where he got that food from. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this May player getting in, or trying to get in. Like, it's very tough. In fact, in this game, if they're not careful, like I said before, like, you get positive bonus for breaking through the glass, but this game rewards offense so much it actually penalizes you from walking backwards. So if you keep it up, you'll actually get a negative tension bonus. So your meter will actually start to go down if you continually, don't advance. Oh. Yeah, good clean anti-air there. Gonna hit him low. And then it's not there. I think that's his 6P. But yeah, just a super methodical keep away game, which Axel's like to do.
We're gonna head into the rematch.
And right now we're back to best of 3, so first to 2, and we're in the loser side. So if if you lose here, you're out.
We haven't really seen both these players kind of liking to take a little bit of a breather and actually show the intro.
I love when the intros run, man. It's the best. Some of them are great, and especially in this game, like there's a lot of Guilty Gear is a franchise. Like a lot of these characters are in previous games, and like I said before, in the lore, a lot of them have interactions with each other, which is really cool. And so you get like they do a good job of like having some unique intros going. But yeah, I'm looking. May's doing a lot of jumping. I would really like to see the May player, utilize the Dolphin. Mr. Dolphin is a cursed move if you play online. It's very oppressive. It can chain into itself. Very strong. But just a quick round of, hitting buttons at the right time, keeping his distance, exactly where Axel wants to be. Yeah, and that's the thing too, is Axel by design has these really, strong, powerful, low moves. He's got very fast, long-range anti-airs. A lot of he has some pokes that do take some commitment, but his 5P, for example, is extremely non-committal. Like it's low risk, high reward. Hits him with the unblockable there. It's something that you always want to keep track of. And it looks like it'll probably be next hit here.
Well, that is it. Presidente roaring back with a vengeance here in the lower bracket. We'll see how far that he can get in the lower bracket. Hopefully make his way to the grand finals, but we're just ready for the next two players to head into here. I do have to ask you, Draco, are there any characters that we necessarily haven't seen tonight that you would like to see?
That I would like to see, I do think Giovanna's very cool. She's like a kind of a rush-down character, pretty simple by design, but also just extremely good at her kid is very good at what she does, and she likes to get into your face. I think we have a fairly good balance of characters here right now, though. We got some people that'll, like the Ramlethals that'll rush you down. We got the zoners like Axels. We got, the command grab characters. And then Angie, and it's interesting because when people started playing the game, they may have gravitated toward one character, but like I said, maybe like a month or 6 weeks ago, we got a balance update for the game. So people still kind of, this roster is nowhere near complete. Like they haven't even released all the characters for this season yet, and there's going to be more after that. So, I mean, the game is still in its relative infancy. So I think people right now are just playing what's comfortable. What do we got? Oh, Zato, super cool character. He's like a puppet character. So Zato has this shadow on the ground. His name is Eddie. And Zato, the player, will actually control Zato and Eddie. And Zato has some disgusting mix that you're just going to have to take. Big block strings. I love that. Does the reflect, but immediately just runs up and throws him. Oh, baits his burst and drops a conversion there. I don't know if that was on purpose to not break the wall. Reversal throw to get him back in, and let's see if this Zato player can get the offense going. Because the cool part about Zato is you can put Eddie on the other side, so if the player's not paying attention, you have to block both left and right for the same good throw break there. But Soul wants to get into your face. He's got a lot of moves that corner carry, that carry you to the corner. Big 6H right there. That move comes out faster than it should. But good reversal throw there. And we'll see. I was actually, the last game I played at home before I came here today was against Zato. So the character is definitely, it's definitely a knowledge check. You got to know when it's your turn to get through the Eddie pressure and when it's not. If this converts, I'll be amazed. It doesn't. RC there. Oh, big counter hit slash. And Soul goes up, quick 1-0. And we're just running it straight back. Big wild throw there from Soul. Good burst. And Zato is kind of in the same realm as Axel, where he does want to he wants to be one of two places. He either wants to be far away zoning you with Eddie, or after he gets his hit, he wants to be in your face applying that mix that we all like to see. Because Zato's mix is some of the best in the game. Just because he can go high-low, he can go left-right. We call it the compass rose mix. He can go any direction if he's on his game. But right now his risk gauge was extremely high. You saw the little warning sign flashing by the purple, and yeah, Soul thrives on cranking that. That is the Soul special right there. Just run up post slash, just fish for the hit, convert with a Bandit Revolver, and then finish him off with a 6H right there.
Well, very quick match right there. Soul's player advancing to the next round in this lower bracket. So unfortunately in this lower bracket is when we start saying goodbye to a lot of competitors.
Yeah, let's see. That was Champ and Cuttooth. I cannot remember. I believe Champ was the Soul player, so Champ will be moving on. And up next we have Crits against Rajinski.
Well, Boise State Esports is proud to host the Beatdown at Boise State, and they are always looking for talented players, production, and broadcast. Top talent, along with good grades and eligibility, can earn scholarships as well. You can sign up today by visiting boisestate.edu/esports for more information. And of course, even if you don't see the game that you like to play there, Overwatch, League of Legends, Valorant, and Rocket League, the normal games that we play, Beatdown at Boise State is one of the many events that prove that we are more than willing to broadcast talent from all different sorts of games. So now, we're ready to load into the next match.
Oh yeah, so we have Angie versus, again, Secretary of State Gold Lewis Dickinson. Good parry there. That spin move is a parry, so he's looking, yeah, you see he doesn't take damage, and depending on how far away he is, he can get a hit afterwards in the situation where he wouldn't normally be able to. Right there is a good punish into red RC. But it's funny, as it makes sense, the bigger characters in fighting games, not everyone's health bar is identical in fighting games. Like Gold Lewis, he's a big man, he's got a lot of health to work through. Same with Potemkin. Angie, smaller guy, not as much, and I tell you what, Gold Lewis hits very hard. It'll be interesting if he can get in. He's got level 3, I can't remember the name of the mechanic, not Presidentiality, because that's G from a different game. But yeah, you might pull out the minigun here, send a robot. Yeah. And good air-to-air there. Without knowing this matchup super well, I would think since Gold Lewis does have a lot, he's a bigger bodied character. His buttons do more damage, usually go farther, but are slower. It's kind of match made in heaven for Angie because he's looking for those big telegraphed buttons that he can parry around. I would like to see the Gold Lewis player maybe not throw out so many buttons and try to bait the parry, because if you do that, Angie is punishable. Yeah, I don't think raw Behemoth Typhoons are the answer. And Rajinski's going up 1-0. I believe he's the Angie player.
Yeah.
But yeah, Angie's a prime example of someone who got a lot of love last patch. He was widely considered probably one of the worst characters in the game before the patch, and now they gave him a lot of love, changed up some of his options, made his buttons just better. That was a weird burst. Was not sure what that was for. Oh, there we go. This is what we like. To the clouds. It's a big man with a coffin from Area 51. Again, yeah, the lore is immaculate in this game. And gets in with the empty jump throw.
I ultimately was expecting, considering that you know, I mean, it was a great move, but ultimately it was just hidden up in the sky. very big, and I was expecting someone who's wielding an alien coffin to maybe have a little bit more flair to a move like that.
Oh, yeah, no, he just...
Like maybe a UFO's up in the air and he hits the
That'd
other.
be... Oh, if he shows his other super, it's pretty great. But yeah, the one thing that's important to note about Guilty Gear is in a lot of other fighting games, like for example, good anti-air super there. Like for example, Street Fighter, your meter transitions between rounds, and then with that, looks like Rajinski's going to advance to the next round. The meter stays within rounds. In Guilty Gear, every round you start absolutely fresh, and I actually got a bail because I am on next.
All right, well, we'll take a quick break and be right back to see how this match turns out. And so stay tuned. We'll be right back with more in Guilty Gear Strive.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
The news says Gen Z is struggling. I've got news for them.
I wait tables. But last week, I built a field hospital.
I put out a forest fire.
I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives.
And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Welcome back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. We are currently making our way through the lower bracket in our third beatdown at Boise State tournament, this time showcasing Guilty Gear Strive. And the two co-casters that we have had so far, that would be Draco and Presidente, are actually going up against each other in this match. So that means we have a new person joining us up here on stage. Fresh from the prairie, we have Crit joining us. How are you doing?
Howdy, howdy. Yeah, no, I'm the guy who you just saw get his butt kicked about twice in a row, but Presidente didn't plan this well enough, and now I'm up here. So
well, I do appreciate your choice of character is all. So
well, I mean, I have to try at least. He's now have to go and fight the other commentator. He's the one who got me into this, so I know kind of how Presidente sort of likes to play, but we'll see if he can beat the other guy.
Draco.
Draco, I apologize.
Nah, it's perfectly fine, but right now we are going to see whether they stick with kind of the comfort picks that they have shown thus far. They are going to be content to show us the intro. It does look like Presidente is sticking on the Axel that we have seen him on for tonight.
The Axel is scary. He bullies me with that about 24/7. The just reach he has is oppressive, but I think Kai might be able to work his way in and pass. He's a lot quicker than anyone I've played, and we're already immediately seeing that here.
Yeah, overall, it really does seem like he's trying to force Presidente into more close-range combat. There's a little bit more of that long range that Presidente wants to kind of be in.
It's really always a bit of a toss-up with Axel. He can both deal with you really far, but he's got some okay close-range options. He can still command grab you from the entire map and then follow up on it. He's really weird, but all it takes is a good few hits. He's fairly squishy, and Kai is very good at just rushing in there past with all of the chains.
Yeah, that's a description that's definitely going to help me differentiate these characters. The weird one. I'm gonna need a little bit more of a description here to find out which one you're talking about.
Well, all right.
That's just a joke.
All right, I don't even remember when I used that term. I'm just speaking as it comes to me here.
But overall, Presidente is going to find himself at the position to take this first round. Doing pretty well so far, but right now health bar's actually not going in his favor right now. Actually pretty even.
It's about even. He's at where he wants to be, nice and far away. Let the Kai just sit right over there and get hit by chains. Draco probably looking to try to actually get in there. He's on the map. I dare to try and speak.
Yeah, hey, you know.
That's how it goes.
Hey, you miss all the shots you don't take, so you might as well, you know,
We're
speak
seeing
some
the
than not
switch up.
speak at all. Yeah, no.
Is it Presidente going back over to Potemkin?
Well, no, Presidente's character locked. He won this one. So.
You're correct. I apologize.
No, don't sweat it. Overall, I don't think we actually have... Okay, no. It looks like he's sticking with it. I don't know what he's doing at this point.
He's switching up his costume.
Right, skins make the wins.
It's true. You look good, you feel good, you play good, you win. Let's go.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Same old start, same old day. Just trying to stay away and poke at his ankles. Draco getting in, though, switching in right past the blades, but is he going to be able to keep it up?
But overall, it seems like not too much has changed from the last round that we've seen. Presidente is doing a great job of not letting Draco get too close to him.
It seems the answer may not have been within the purple poncho, which is a shame. But it's not over until it's over. He's getting in. He's gonna get the wall break here. And that's the
so maybe it was the purple poncho.
I mean, maybe it was. I don't... He's throwing me for a loop here.
But also, we were talking a little bit earlier, it might just be a thing of Draco warming up and getting more used to Presidente.
Very much so. It can always take like a good couple rounds to sort of figure out your opponent. And we are seeing more of that. These rounds are going a little more even here. They're staying at about even health. They're going tit for tat. But he's in a bit of a rough spot now.
Ooh, he's just hanging on by a thread, though. Hasn't been managing to put it away, though. Presidente does win this one, he will go to match point. There he goes. He finally finds it.
There it is. All right. The burst out the gate, you don't like to see that one. We've all been there. Both are just trying to get to where they want to be. It's that same sort of like reverse tug of war. One wants to come closer, the other one wants to run away or pull them back into him. Draco out here, almost dead. We'll see if he can pull this out. It's not unheard of. It's not going to happen today, though.
Nope. Looks like the purple wardrobe change isn't going to really work for him right now. Presidente, excuse me, moving on to the next match thus far. We're going to be getting into the next match as soon as we can. See who he's going up against. But right now, just a reminder, Boise State Esports always looking for talented players, production, and broadcasts. Top talent, along with good grades and eligibility, can earn scholarships as well. You can sign up today by visiting boisestate.edu/esports for more information.
It's just a good idea. Let's be honest. Just do it. Don't think about it too hard. Just go sign up. What is the worst that can possibly happen? I was pulled basically off of the streets, and now I'm doing this for probably the last time. But you know what? That's okay. I have had my time and chance. It's great. Do it.
Well, it's thank you for the most matter-of-fact analysis I've seen here tonight, Crits. So thank you. You're doing a great job. Thank you.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah. Like I said, you miss all the shots you don't take. So hey, you're doing, the only thing I have to say is you're saying this is probably the last time you're going to, be up here. I'm just going to say not with that attitude. You're not. So
true.
So maybe just turn around your overall mental state. But overall, talking about mental state, what are you thinking right now as we are ready to head into the next match overall? It looks like actually we are going to be making a quick swap, so I'm just going to give you a chance for final thoughts.
Nope, that is about it. You are entirely right. I can hope to maybe come back up here, but for now, certainly gonna leave it to the professionals here.
All right, well, thank you for joining us, Crit. We're gonna be just doing a live swap right now. Draco is heading into here as we're ready to head into the next match. So welcome back to the stage, Draco.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. He doesn't want to talk about last match, so let's talk about this match.
Yeah, let's talk about this one. Angie Mino against Soul Bad Guy. I think this is fairly even. I think this is going to be a player skill thing. Soul might have the advantage in terms of damage output, but because the man does do damage. But if you get counter hit like that, you're doing it. But already burst out on both of them, which is interesting. Full meter, red RC. And now you don't have that burst available. You're going all the way to the corner. I'm not quite sure about I'm not sure what that move's called, but normally you see that after a throw to give him better pressure on wake up. But and there you see just the offensive pressure from Soul is real strong. He's got some real good buttons up close in your face. And that's so good right there. That whole sequence right there. He threw Angie out of the parry. And then thinking that he would do it again, he hit him with a counter hit on wake up. Super good. He's conditioning the Angie player pretty well right now. Goes for the purple RC and then still gets thrown out of it for his troubles. And this whole player is making really good adjustments, like on the fly. You'd love to see it. Up a game. We're going to character select. And yeah, big. Oh, we are changing. Okay. I'm personally a big fan. If if you lost a round, there is no reason to not go to character select and just take a couple seconds, because if you're not, you gotta know what you're doing wrong. So character select's a good place just to take that extra 30 seconds to think about what you're doing. But this is a different character, Gianna. She wants to be up in your grill all the time. Has some forward advancing buttons like this one right here that is plus on block, which means even if you block it, it's still her turn, like right there. Soul got caught trying to hit a button. He's got to know better. Ooh. Blue RC, but then gets stopped by the gun flame. Good tech there. Yeah, still Geo's turn there. But a throw back in the corner, throw out, and that'll be the round. So early on, the character switch paying dividends. Big 6H counter hit to start. That move is...
it's all about finding out your opponent.
Yeah, exactly. That move goes really far. I'd like to see more sweeps from the Geo player. Her 2D is like the best in the game, in my opinion. Goes real far. Oh, but no burst here. Soul's gonna... Oh, drop there. He definitely could have taken it to the glass, but it doesn't matter. Does it anyway. And now Rajinski's on... or excuse me, Soul player's on game point.
Game point and overall match point.
Correct.
So slow start against this character
Yeah,
swap.
good DP there. Ooh, I don't think the super's gonna hit. No, but he's FDing, push back, and I like the burst out of there. Sometimes you gotta take a risk, and using that burst, he gets to keep his offensive pressure, but immediately gets back thrown into the corner. Oh, and this is not looking good here. And that'll do it. Very strong showing. And if I'm not mistaken, he might be staying on. No, it looks like he's not. So that was Champ. So Champ will be advancing. Up next will be Presidente against Pencil. Which I'm excited for this one. Because we're going to have Ram Lethal against Axel, maybe Potemkin, but I know Mitch pretty well. We've been playing a lot of games together. I want to see how he tackles getting in on Axel. It's a hard thing, I tried in my match. It's no easy task, especially if your character's buttons are a little limited on range. So we'll see how he does with Ram. Very excited.
Well, here we go. We're getting pretty close to the end of the losers bracket. Everyone getting closer to those semifinals and then the finals of the lower bracket. We'll head on to the grand finals. So once we get to those finals, it will be best of 5 as a reminder instead of best of 3. Just a quick recap of the rules that have been here tonight. Best of 3 normal rounds, finals best of 5. All characters legal, and the winner is character locked. We definitely saw a nice chance at a character swap last round. Didn't quite work out, but it's always good to try something different if what you're doing isn't working, and here we go.
Yeah, that's the one thing too. I don't know if anyone said it yet, but especially in like anime fighters, most of the time they have some ridiculous round start nonsense, but I think Guilty Gears is a nice mix of round 1, let's rock. Because I don't know if you've noticed, the music in this game is a lot of rock and roll. It's very cool. A lot of it's super awesome. Gets the charged dust there and unable to convert in the air, which is a huge opportunity. I don't know if he was trying to bait a burst or not, but he might have gotten bursted actually if I'm not paying attention. But yeah, the normal dust attack is an overhead. But if you hold it down, you launch him into the sky, and those are some of the most damaging combos in the game. And yeah, so far, Mitch is he is playing the range game good. He knows when to go dash up throw, just run up throw is great, and now he's got a burstless Axel in the corner, already on the glass. Purple RC. Great back throw there from Axel, though. Ram does have some better tools, though. She can throw the swords, and they explode on the wall like that, which keeps them blocked, which keeps them stunned there. And that should do it. That was a very quick 1-0 to start.
Yeah, it really didn't seem like Presidente was able to make any space for himself at any time there.
Yeah, the one thing is Ram does have the tools to, she can throw her swords out, but as soon as she does, her range becomes drastically limited. So if she doesn't put herself in a position where those swords are going to hit, I can easily see Presidente coming back with Axel and abusing that momentary lack of range on her buttons. Like right here, she's already down 1. If she throws the other one, it's she might be in trouble. It does take if you run up to the swords, it instantly comes back to you, but if you do not, it does take some time for them to fly back. Good jump on the unblockable there. And let's see if he's got the conversions. He does.
Last chance here for Presidente. Facing,
yeah.
Looks like he might be facing a complete sweep
Going
here.
for the shimmy and then walks up and just throws him anyway. But good back throw there. Good jump in. We're throwing again. Oh, baits a burst, but I wouldn't be too worried about it right now if I was Mitch. You are up a game. Kind of playing with house money right now. So he's got a bar to work with now, which he's going to spend immediately, but still ends up getting hit. But he's got that positive gain going, so you know he'll make up that next bar in no time. Walks in, gets the throw. Gets burst baited. Ooh, good jump back button there. And unfortunately, that'll be the run for Presidente.
Yeah, unfortunately. Fortunately for you, though, since
I'm not. There's, yeah.
Maybe I'm being a bit too cynical right now.
No, not cynical enough. It's again, right? Like, nothing preventing me from going home and figuring out, what to do.
Well, if you want to have more opportunities to try to compete like this, then Drop-In Gaming is a great resource. They are they are the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you're new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. To begin your competitive gaming journey, sign up at dropingaming.com. And already getting ready to head into our next match. Looks like the picks are being made right now.
Yeah, so up next we're going to have Huey versus Champ. So this is the Soul player and... Is this the Pot player? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Yeah, so I think Soul's mobility is really good in this matchup, but again, Potemkin does a lot of damage, but he's never going to get any space. Great job there. Oh, Kara Pot Buster. I love it. It does it again. Dang right, might do it again. Oh, come on. Oh, that was a sick backdash. Getting invulnerable with the blue RC. Unfortunately, unable to close out the round, but I did like his use of meter there. His, trying to make the most out of it. Oh, that's got to be on hit. That was a good job knowing that he could have backdashed there.
So I asked this question, I believe I asked this question of Presidente, but we've just been talking about favorites and in terms of aesthetics. What is your favorite stage on this?
Oh, favorite stage? I don't know. They're all pretty cool. I am particular to the. I don't think we've seen it yet. Hopefully, we'll get someone to pick it later. But there's Nagoriyuki's home stage is got these like huge floating Buddhist temples, and then a huge Kara Pot Buster on round start. You love to see it if you're a Pot player doing it again. And I mean, yeah. That's just a lot of that's it. That's a perfect. That's 7 golden letters. I guess they're not gold in this game, but yeah, that's a perfect. Yeah, grapplers are kind of more risk reward because if he just jumps on wake up, anytime he tries to do that, if you just hold up, you're going to jump it, and you're going to be able to get a big punish right there. Unfortunately, unable to convert that. But he is making the most out of it. Goes for a 6P, big wild throw here. And then just the, 5 punch to get it done. And let's see, that is 2-0. That was fast. We are cruising.
Yeah, cruising right along, getting ever closer to the lower bracket finals. And whoever wins that will head on to the winners finals.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, yeah, so this will be a run back. This is, so Huey's going to stay on against, oh wait, am I mistaken? No, because Presidente's out. Yeah, Huey just beat Champ, sorry. So this will be Mitch against Huey, so Ramlethal versus Potemkin. I feel like most matchups except for like maybe the Axel one are fairly similar from Potemkin's standpoint. Like, you always want to run the game of, like, you know, getting in anti-airing when you're supposed to, so you can get him in a good position to set up that guess for the Potemkin Buster, right? Because if you, like, there are rounds when you may not even throw one out, but it's like the threat of it being there is sometimes just as important than the actual damage that the move itself provides. So it will be interesting. Mitch has been doing a great job of running people to the corner, but Potemkin is one of the highest like health point heroes in the game. So you know, that might mean that you have to, you know, you might get one more guess to live through, and Potemkin's damage certainly isn't lacking. So if he guesses right, you know, it could be the difference between a win and a loss. Good 6P anti-air there. Oh, man, that was. Oh, there's some gaming going on right now. Let me tell you. Potemkin going for the dash up, pot buster, whiffs, purple RC into pot buster again, but great job by Mitch, the Ram player, to sniff that out. It's going pretty good. Big counter hit, close S. Big jump in here. And this, oh, baits the burst, and that'll be the round. That was really, really good. Knowing that the pot player only needed one more hit, but knowing that he would burst and calling that out is a big play. Oh, that's sick. I actually didn't know you could do that. On the explode, so that move where he flicks his finger, it's the anti-projectile move, and it actually sends it back. And when Ram throws the sword and it explodes, it counts as a projectile. So it was very heads up from him to know that timing. Goes for a gold burst bait there, doesn't get it, but is going to be able to convert here. Drops the combo, which is unfortunate, but good jump in afterwards. Big red RC here, and that's, yeah, again, Potemkin, big boy, big damage, a lot of fun. I love him.
Both these players have one win apiece, still looking to get the victory in round one.
Yeah, no, they're both playing really well. It's back and forth for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if Potemkin gets his burst back, and I would not be surprised if Ram gets hers back either. So it's one thing we got to look out for. Oh yeah, big car pot buster there. Yeah, so now Pot's got the burst to worry about. There we go, baited. Unable to pick it up though. Just a good sequence of buttons right there. Gets him frame trapped. And yeah, that was one of the more competitive, you know, competitive first games we've seen in a bit.
No swaps taking place. Both are going to stick on their character choices.
No, and that's not uncommon, right? Like, especially if you, you know, if it is 1-1, and that last round was extremely close, right? Like, that's just like, you know, that's one decision, that's one guess, or like, you know, maybe you weren't as optimal as you could have been on a certain combo, like. Oh, love that! Just jump purple RC, sees that that Mitch had jumped as well, so immediately goes for the air throw. That's one of the cool parts about this game, like the ability to slow down time like that on certain situations. It's not just combo extension, which is the mechanic in so many other games. Oh, tried to bait him off the wall there, and just so close. He's got to use his meter here to defend because he is in chip range, but he's just going to get clipped right there. Clipped in the dome. Good throw tech there. That was weird. Well, typically you get staggered by Garuda impact, but Ramlethal went flying. I wonder if it's because she might have been airborne, maybe? Because all that stuff matters in games like this. And dang, that pot buster did like 30% at least. There's one character I do wish we seen. You asked me earlier. Is this character named Chip? He's got the lowest health bar in the game, and Potemkin can kill him with 2 busters, 2 command grabs. That's it. That's all it takes. It's hilarious. Ooh, just misses the charged dust there. It was very heads up from Mitch, seeing the purple RC and immediately jumping, knowing that the probable pot buster was coming in. Oh, you know, that move does like 30% HP. The man had a sliver. It doesn't matter. Do it anyway.
So now 1 apiece.
1 apiece, yeah. And this is loser semis, so next round will be the decider. Huey, or someone just taking a little bit of time there, catch their breath. Very important, you know. You do these combos, you know, thousands of times in training mode, like, but it's a little different when the adrenaline's going and the blood's pumping. Oh, that'll never get old. I don't think I'll ever get tired of watching that. That was a great sequence there from Huey. Good interrupt there, very brave. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, you can see it, right?
I was just thinking, though, it was getting down. I mean, the health bar was getting down into that range where one of those busters
that range
would be
where
pretty
this one, right? Oh, caught the backdash there, but yeah, no, for sure. It's like, well, now especially now, it's like almost any hit will do it. Good burst there. Oh, it goes for the double jump, trying to catch a. Oh, this is.
Oh.
You gotta, yeah. You have to hold that. It's super dangerous. He's like way plus. If you push a button, you leave yourself open. But that's gonna do it for Mitch, and making quite the run now is Huey, and so he'll stay on and play Ranked Park in the losers finals.
Well, Idaho Army National Guard is a great sponsor of Boise State Esports, and they invite you to take your critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams to join out there. You can reach out to them on Twitch at iGuardGaming.com. So now we head into that was the semis. Then indeed this is going to be the lower bracket finals, and then we head on to the grand finals. Of course, I would expect that in the grand finals that there is the bracket reset, that the person from the lower bracket would have to win twice in order to take the win.
That is correct. Yep. And, you know, that especially, I mean, these guys right now, they got to win 3 games. And that's all they got on their mind, right? Like, if you have a pocket character, like, now's probably the time to pull it out. But it looks like Potemkin versus Eno. Potemkin's a big body, so a lot of this high-low mix-up, like a lot of things that wouldn't hit normally, like he's physically taller on the screen, so some of the things that Ino can do because she has that jump attack, like she can, you know, it definitely changes the high-low mix-up game. Good burst immediately says get off me. I don't want that. And then, yeah, the thing that I don't think we talked about before is that, you know, like one of her main mechanics, right? She gets this knockdown. She throws out the note. It's a projectile. It keeps you blocking so she can achieve that high-low mix-up. And so it's she has a lot more freedom with it against Potemkin. This is a great combo here. Drops it, unfortunately, but is going to get it again into the super. Wall break still alive, but he's going to get some. He's going to get Oki right here. Yeah. if you break the wall with a super, I don't know if we touched on this. If you break the wall with a super, you will be able to move before the other characters. So you can dash up and get what we call in the fighting game community meaty pressure. You can they have to wake up, which is very important. Great way to spend meter. And yeah, it's real hard. It's been real hard enough for Hugh to get in on pot, but oh, what a great anti-air command grab! Great heat knuckle there. Good far ass. Good 6P. You love to see it. This is one of his supers. It's just the advancing force field. Something he can walk behind. Very hard to get over. It takes a lot of commitment. Oh, yep. You were blocked. You were holding down back for a little too long, my friend. But reversal throw there.
Now anything will do it.
That's all right. I think Pot's willing to take that. She doesn't have any more meter. But is doing the damage.
Oh.
The stroke the big tree and the stroke the big tree. It's that move again when she slides on the ground. The stroke. He did heavy after the light one, and the heavy one is throwable. Like, it does take longer to come out. Leaves her advantageous on block, but it does take longer. It is interruptible. So I'd like a lot of Inos will rely on that, and if you're not, it's not something you look out for, not something you punish. You condition the players that you can punish, then they will just keep doing it. And that's one of the things in fighting games too, is like conditioning them to block after that move, right? Yeah, there we go, perfect. Not a perfect, but it's something you want to, you may tell them, you may do certain things that allow them to get away with cheeky stuff, but maybe you want to save that for a moment when you know that you can punish it and you have gotten them into this line of thinking that that is something that you'll do. Great throw. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yep. Gets the Garuda impact into a free Kara pot buster. Real good. It's an absolutely great adaptation there.
Well, now both stand at 1 win apiece.
Yeah, so now we're just back to, first to 3. or first to 2. A little late on the burst there. Typically, you'd like to see it at the beginning of a combo, just to avoid the damage. But here we are, starting the high-low mix-up. Good throw. Good backdash. That's trying to punish it. It's just such a hard super to punish. Leaves her so plus on block. He tried real hard, just missed it. It's a tough one to punish. There we go. Now the pot mix. Yep, here we go. Buster. It's going to get on top of you in the corner. Counter hit. Goes all the way. Side switches, so puts Potemkin in the corner. I like that. Oh. You hate to see it. The grab was almost there. Baits the burst, but unable to convert. Love, that was such a sick play. Whiffs, gets into neutral jump the pot buster, but immediately RCs, PRCs, and then jumps to air throw before they can react. That was a very good play. Almost there was almost a no way out of it. That was almost a for sure kill situation. Oh man, that was a very good mix there. does the empty jump and then jumps again to catch them high. Typically when they jump and don't do anything, you expect them to go low or throw maybe. But yeah, empty jump and then re-jumps again to get the jump K in there. That was really good. Oh, love that. Gets the Garuda impact on wake up, baits the burst, pot buster. You are in a very poor situation defensively now if you're the Eno player. Good jump on the second Garuda impact there. Offensive burst, I love to see it. It's mainly a defensive tool, but you can see here how it's helping him out. He maintains that corner pressure. And he's not going to need it this round anyway, but he just wants to for sure close it out. He'll get a burst back later. Seen some really good gameplay. I really like this.
I mean, it does seem to be characteristic of a top player right now is that he is really good at staging these sort of comebacks when he finds himself up against a match point.
Yeah, for sure. And it's like, and it lends itself to the character too. The character, like I said, it can take a lot of damage. A little bit of lag there. It's a little weird. He can take a lot of damage, and he does a lot of damage. So you always get those big comeback scenarios. Definitely doable, especially considering. Oh, that was absolutely disgusting. He's been looking for the answer to that. Finally finds it in the heat knuckle. That was gross. And gross in the best way possible. But she's like, oh, hey, I have a command grab too, by the way. Let me play the song of my people.
Well, now this is the last chance. The pot player, he has to win this in order to drive to a game 5. Getting the buster right off the bat certainly going to help.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But, of course, that's what he did last round, too. So this Ino player.
Oh, great burst right there. That's going to do it. Yeah.
Wow.
That was sick. Man got read like a book. You know, they say what you will about fighting game players, but we do read quite a bit. Just
I didn't say anything.
Not necessarily books. We just, read other people. Yeah, that kind of hurts. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is 2-2?
Yeah, this is 2-2.
Yeah, so this is losers for the losers finals here. Second, third place match. Big mega fist there. And then here comes the Ino offense. Catches him high. Catches him high a second time. And then catches him low. Like tale as old as time. Oh, misses the pot buster there. And yeah, so now he's got it on reaction. So this isn't something that you can just throw out in a situation that, like, you could do it in a combo. He just wasn't blocking there, or he wasn't faultless defending, which is why that chipped him out. But Huey Potemkin has shown that he can now, on reaction, if Ino tries to do it wake up, that he will punish it for sure. Oh, just misses the range on the 2H there. That would have been big damage. And that's, become untrainable. Like, normally you want to train people into doing stuff, like we said, condition, but sometimes even if you know that they can punish it, you still want to do the move anyway because, they're thinking, hey, I just got punished. The penalty's just like, hey, I can punish it. He's not going to do it anymore. Well, that might be the perfect time to do it.
Well, that's going to do it for the lower grand finals. We move lower finals, excuse me. We move on to the grand finals.
Yeah,
so we're going to see who gets the overall victory here tonight.
Yeah, so it's going to be Moo versus Ranked Park, and that's a run back from the winners finals. So now we got Moo just has to win. So it's best of 5, first to 3. So if Moo wins 3, we're out of here. But if Ranked Park wins 3, then we got the bracket reset. And we'll see what happens there. I would not expect different characters. I think if I'm not mistaken, it was 2-1, right? So it should have been. I think it'll be close, but we'll see how the pause, the amount of time taken, like because Mu hasn't played since we've ran through losers. So sometimes it's just like any other game, right? Like sometimes it's better to stay playing even if you're in losers bracket. Like obviously you have that safety net in winner's side, but happens all the time. Like the person has to wait a long time, maybe they get a little cold. So we'll see how dominant Mu can try and come out and really just get this over quick.
Well, here we go into the grand finals of the beatdown at Boise State. Both players getting ready to jump in here. This looks like we're having a little bit of some adjustments here in terms of controls, but here we go. It does look like actually isn't going to actually go with, actually is going to.
Back to, yeah, so this is Nago and Ino. Should be, yeah. It's the same thing. We'll see. The big thing is I know for a fact that Mu's a good player. I've played him in other games as well. He seems to be pretty dang optimal with Nagoriyuki, so I'm not worried about when he gets in. I'm just if I was him, I'd be worried about this situation here. Like Nagoriyuki does not have a reversible or invincible reversal, so like some characters have DPs or uppercuts, like dragon punches, Shoryuken from the Street Fighter world. Nago does not, so it's very hard for him to get the pressure off. Using the red RC there just to etch out a little bit more damage before the wall break. Like I said, this man is showing that he can play optimal with his damage, but good gold RC there. I don't know if we've seen one of those yet. That's an option you could do on defense, the way to spend meter, where you kind of reset their pressure, even if they're in the middle of the pressure. So it's like, imagine it was a burst, except if you block it. Gets 2 command grabs in a row. That's super big for him. It's a lot of damage. And it's now something that, that Ranked Park has got to keep his eyes out for on that mix-up. Showing that he's willing to spend meter on the gold RC, which does limit your meter gain after. You can see his meter's not going up nearly as much because of the gold RC. But showing that he's willing to use it to reset that pressure because... Ooh, he goes for the command grab, but her throw came out a little faster. Ooh, a good purple RC into the, I think that's 6H, if I'm not mistaken, or 2H. Yeah, gets the first game out of the way, 1-0. In a different defensive approach, I think, than the last time. Like, willing to spend his meter in other ways, like that gold RC we were talking about. So let's see if that is, if that's the answer. Oh, Ino can also time travel. Just side lore.
Of course.
Of course, yeah. Why wouldn't a witch be able? Yeah, rock and roll witch that travels through time.
The rock and roll witch versus the vampire samurai.
Yep. It's canon.
Well, overall, good start for Nago player. Has 1 win. Again, if he gets 3 wins, then we can pack it all up and head home. But still looking at a bracket reset.
Ooh, I'm not so sure about... I like the Nago burst there. I'm not so sure about the Ino one. I don't think he would have converted that. I don't think he would have picked that up. But does get Ranked Park out of the corner. Oh, good 6P there. When I say 6P, I mean like a forward punch. It's the universal anti-air button for all the characters. And yeah. Oh, that was super interesting. So that reset the combo. I don't know if that reset the combo counter, but that was wild. But coming out hot. You're always doing something as I know. Maybe not so much like Chip, but fairly close.
Two-thirds of the way up on that blood meter, but
yeah.
I know not having a lot of health though, so.
Yeah, and it's one of those things, too, that, like, as you get lower in health as Nagoriyuki, you don't mind the blood meter going up as much because you lose relatively less health, right? Like, if one combo is gonna take you down anyway, like, doesn't matter if you get hit once or get hit once into combo. Like,
although you still have that vulnerability during the animation.
100%. But it does unlock, your range becomes obscene. And the moves that, the super that it unlocks is crazy. And there's that danger I was talking about earlier. Negative penalty, or danger comes before negative, so. And it gets him with the 2P. That was wild. That was a weird interaction. Yeah, there we go. The Beyblade into the command grab. You love to see it. The command grab also like drastically reduces his blood meter and gives him health back. It's like a health steal, so it's really good if you can land those. Yeah, his blood meter is practically gone. Oh, tried to get a good punish there. Wasn't able to, but able to pick it up there at the end.
So now this has to be the ultimate reverse sweep here.
Yep, we were talking, and I've seen it. It's happened. Not undoable. I think Ranked Park has, like, he's got the offense for sure. It's just Mu has been doing a really good job of finding ways to take his turn back in this whole set. Actually, in this whole, this whole tournament. And then the perfect example, right? Hasn't done it once, but he's just like, hey, if you're going to charge in on me, I'm just going to do a super, and we're going to the clouds. Good air-to-air there. I was expecting the throw, and there it is there. But coming out and showing a little bit of style here.
So I know I said ultimate reverse sweep. This is the ultimate reverse sweep.
This would be the
for the game, yes, for the match, and then for the bracket reset.
Yeah, you'd have to keep going. When this game first came out, like before everybody kind of figured it out, people thought Nagoriyuki was not that good. Like, sure, he had good buttons, but just the fact that he can reset his own pressure like so easily is pretty insane. And he's got like some pretty solid like hit throw mix, and again just has super big damage like right there. Gets a clean anti-air, and that will do it.
Well, that is going to finish it out for the third beatdown at Boise State. So nice job there, and congratulations to all the players and, of course, the Boise State fighting game community for arranging this tournament for us. It's been great to watch here. Just some final pleasantries being exchanged before we wrap it up here on the desk. I want to thank you, Draco, as well as Presidente and Kritz for joining us tonight, and thank you to all the viewers. And, of course, production and everyone who is working on a Saturday. We, of course, very appreciate your hard work. But that is going to do it for the beatdown at Boise State for us tonight. We hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week on Monday sharp for more Boise State esports action.